Okay, good evening. It's December the 12th, Tuesday, December the 12th, at 7:10, and we're prepared to start the Colmar Manor Town meeting. Is there a motion for us to open this meeting?
I'll make that motion as stated.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, this meeting is now in order. First thing that we're going to do is do a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, if we can have a moment of silence to think of those who are less fortunate, shut in of service to us, and any other things that you want to think of. Okay, so now can we have a moment of silence to give thanks and be grateful for all the things that we do have and all the things that we are fortunate to have, friends and family, and all of the support in our lives. All right, thank you very much. Fill up with the blessings. Okay, so in terms of the agenda, I'm going to make a move on the agenda. Number 3 should fall under number 9, it's unfinished business. And is there any other changes that any council would like to recommend? Okay, with none. Moving forward, I'll go ahead with the mayor's report. I first want to say I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Mine was beautiful and nice, and it has been really a blessing. It is a great time to reflect on our blessings. We go day to day in our activities in life, and we don't often just stop and sit and say thank you for all that we have. And so it is a good time of the year to be able to do that, and I'm very blessed and very thankful, and I hope everybody had a wonderful time. We had our senior luncheon, which was a very nice luncheon, and I want to thank the staff wholeheartedly for pulling that together. It was beautiful. I want to talk about some of the things that I've been involved in over the last month. I want to mention that Breeze, if you guys don't know it, Breeze Country, the hand dancing group, they're here on Wednesdays, and as they did last year, they did a major donation to us. I forget the exact amount, but I think it was like $800 to go towards our gifts for our children and our senior luncheons, and we are so thankful that they have been here to do it. It's a beautiful event. It's done live on TV, and we thank Mr. Breeze and the country dancers and all the others who were a part of that donation. I am the secretary. I am a member of the Black Mayors Association, and we met in Landover Hills last month, and the main conversation was around the cannabis. Medical cannabis, which people call marijuana, which is going to be coming to the community. There'll be several distribution areas, and we were being informed and about how those are going to be managed and the security that will be around them and how significant they will be covered. And so that was a really good conversation for us to learn a little bit more about what's happening with the medical cannabis. We have, just to let everybody know, this building, which is being well used, significantly used by our community for many different events and activities. We are upgrading our camera system. So the chief and I and the sergeant spent a good deal of time just really reviewing the building and where where the locations, and the chief might mention a little bit more. He's been working further with a company on how to best make sure that everybody is secure in the building and can feel, and we're safe. And not that it isn't, you know, we've got 20 cameras as it stands, but there's a lot of improvements that we can make, and so we'll be doing that. I stopped by and when Chief had coffee with the chief down at the IHOP earlier this month, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about that. The Port Town CDC had their annual meeting here and talked about some of the activities that they're moving forward, which is primarily the stormwater grants being put up in order to get us up and going. Our circuit rider started this like a week before Thanksgiving, and she is Jacqueline Goodall, and she has some strong experience in municipal government. She'll be working on Fridays here, 2 days a week in Fairmont Heights and 2 days a week in North Brentwood. So she has really started work on our Newark Road engineering grant. Our goal is to turn Newark Road into a green street, and we've got funding from the Chesapeake Bay Trust in order to do some engineering work, so that once we have engineering work done, then we can put in for a grant in order to get the actual physical project done. So I've worked with her and getting her up to speed and everything on what we were trying to do on that project. I'll also mention that we're moving our project forward for the sidewalk on 40th Street next to the Shoppers. In fact, Mr. Baden will be meeting with the pavers people and the shopping center owners tomorrow morning, so we can get that project moving forward and started. So we're starting to move some of these projects that we have moving along, and we'll be, and we're about ready. We'll probably be able to get the playground and the exercise in before or within the early springtime, so it's ready for people to enjoy before the summer. So I'm excited. We're moving these things forward now and getting these, because we've had these grant setting and now we're trying to get them actually moving forward. We had, I attended the Cottage City groundbreaking. They're building a new utility shed. Met with the Maryland Mayors Association. I am the secretary of the Maryland Mayors Association, and we are doing a lot of focus on working on meeting our delegates and our senators and the State House to talk about the needs of municipalities as mayors. There's a lot of focus on the highway users tax, which is something that was taken away from us several years ago, and been working really hard in order to move that back forward again. The holiday party, oh my God. Off the chain. It was absolutely great. Awesome, and I gotta be more thankful. I can't be more thankful for the amount of contributions that we received for gifts. There were full tables that went full side to this side of this front room here with stacks of gifts all up and down. And those gifts came from funds from the Breeze, It came from the funds from police department, from the volunteers. Our volleyball volunteers bought a table full inside of the conference room as far as those gifts go. And then people were just bringing things in. It was absolutely amazing and so heartwarming to see every young person here left with a gift, a wrapped gift. And for some of our young people out there, that might be the only gift that they're able to get this year. And so it's so wonderful to be able to have that opportunity to have this space, because not many other spaces would have accommodated this particular party. We might have to do it in the gym next year. It was so full. So I'm thankful for everybody that came out. I'm thankful for all of the children that were able to get something and have a good time. And I thank you to Renee for all of the effort that she put into it. And the volunteers were just immaculate. You know, not just the volleyball volunteers, but our Zumba volunteers and other young people that just come from the neighborhood. They come and help. It's amazing. I love this town. It's a beautiful place, and it was a beautiful day.
There's about a lot of people in the town.
Yes, it was. So it was really a great thing. Tomorrow we have the holiday party for our seniors, and I'm sure that's going to be a wonderful event. The chief and Sergeant Sims and Sergeant Mutenberger, they all took out some young people, and the chief can tell you a little bit more about that, but that was really the shot with the cop. And again, that was a really wonderful opportunity to be involved in. I actually, since we did the mailing, and I want to remind everybody, if you haven't sent in your contact sheets that we requested, please send in your contact sheets. And it's important not just because we want to communicate better with you, but also because that emergency contact is important. We've already had a couple incidences where someone was in critical a situation or condition, and we didn't have information as to how to reach somebody important. And so we know how important that is that we have something up here. We're not sharing that information with anyone. It won't even be a part of any blind carbon copying. We'll be communicating through constant contact or other means, but directly to you. So it will not disturb your information. So if you haven't sent it, but one of the things that was a byproduct of that was that I learned where the vacant houses are in town. And so I've done a review of going around where the vacant houses are to determine which ones really need abatement, which ones look like they're getting done. I passed the list on to the chief, and so the chief is keeping an eye on the vacant houses. But we have 18 vacant houses in town, looks like, you know, up to that point. And some changes may have made around that or whatever, but it's not a really bad number compared to some other communities.
And a couple of them have been filled.
A couple of them, really people are, they're being
in.
fixed up, and
No,
a couple of them have
we have
moved
new-
in, and then other ones are being fixed up, so that's all very good. Okay, car registration. Oh, and I just want to remind everybody, as again, the note that I sent with the contacts, that we will, sometime in the month of January, we'll be starting to actually start actually with the working on the registration process for parking permits. So stay tuned for that. You'll be hearing a little bit more about that as we go forward. If we got your contact information, it'll make it easy for us to communicate with you faster, and so please send that in if you haven't sent it in. Thank you very much. So that's the mayor's report. Thank you for having me. The next thing is the transfer of funds for purchase on Bladensburg. Oh, no, sorry, I moved that one, number 3. Okay, mayor's report. Council reports. Okay. Ward 1?
Yeah, good evening. Riding around looking at Ward 1, we have some lovely Christmas decorations, and thank you for that. And the Garden Club will be doing a decoration contest. I want to welcome a new neighbor on Newton Street, Jeremy. He came out to our Coffee with the Cop meeting and met the chief and myself and the mayor, and nice neighbor, new person in town, so welcome, Jeremy. I want to also, I noticed in some car in my neighborhood had a computer, and it looked like a briefcase. This is the time where people walk around looking in cars and this and that, so if you have telephones, briefcase, computers, or even gifts or bags, you know, you've been shopping, please lock the doors and take the bags in-house. Also, it's the holiday season, and you may be receiving computers, televisions, so break the boxes down, turn them inside out, and put them out in the bulk trash. Just don't sit the whole box out there advertising. Don't forget to check on the sick and the shut-ins. Mrs. Sheeks is doing very good. I want to say welcome and thank Ms. Cade and Connie and some of the other neighbors on our street for checking on each other. Watch out for the AM kids in the morning, sometimes they're in the street, but thank Chief for the police officers in the AM, and he has someone out there in the PM. Be careful not to overload your plugs with this Christmas decorations, and watch out for fires, and make sure that your heaters aren't close to the kids' blankets and beds, and check out your smoke detectors. And I want to say happy birthday to myself. I had a lovely birthday yesterday, thank God. And I want to say happy birthday to another employee, Ronald Martin, and all the December babies too. And I want everyone to have a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Ward 2.
I really don't have a award report, but I'd like to say happy birthday to Julia Dunn. That's it. I really don't have an award report, but I'd like to say happy birthday to Julia Dunn.
All right, thank you so much. Ward 3, Councilmember Jackson.
Good evening. Happy Hanukkah. Today is the first day of Hanukkah. Happy holidays to everybody. Want to say happy birthday to Councilmember Blue.
Thank you.
And also we want to say God is good. We have Councilmember Mendoza back. She had a little scare, but everything is well now, so God is working well. I just want to let you know we have 7 residents that had their trees removed from Pepco, and you have not returned in your slip. And if you do not want a tree planted in your yard, we do understand, but we ask that you can let the town have that tree, and we would definitely find a lovely home for that tree. Also, the mayor mentioned that Port Town CDC had their annual meeting here last month. I was so excited. We have 4 residents that joined the Port Town CDC, so thank you for all the volunteers. Just wanted to let you know that District 47 will have their Holiday Toys Drive on December the 21st. It's from 7 p.m. to 11. This is a fundraiser. The toys will go to St. Anne's Center for the Children, and it's at the Mexican Lindo restaurant that's located in Bladensburg, Maryland. And just want to say everyone have a happy and safe holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 4.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a ward report, but I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to everyone, Happy Holidays, and have a Happy New Year. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. I also want to say happy birthday to Ms. Blue.
Thank you.
I meant to up front the top. So we got some cake in the back for you, just specially for you. So I hope everybody will join us afterwards for some happy birthday cake. Can all of us give us one round of a happy birthday? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Councilman Blue. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And I think we did, I don't know if you weren't here last time, Chief, but we mentioned your birthday was coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah,
Then we
appreciate
had a nice little surprise for the Chief.
Yes.
Got him good.
That was a surprise, all right.
That's right, because we're going to meet by cameras, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And no, it was a vacant house. It was
You
a
faked
vacant
me
house.
out.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
And I got a list and everything for you to see, and he was already going, walked in the room, and everybody, that was really
I
awesome.
appreciate it.
So
Thank
happy
you.
birthday again to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, as Mayor Pro Tem Jackson said, we had a little scare with Councilmember Mendoza, didn't expect her to be here today. I'm thankful, so thankful. Everything's okay, you're here. Thank you so much. And I didn't know it was Ronald's birthday, so I'm just shout out to Ronald Martin as well, because nobody gave him putting him on my list. I also want to say, well, I'm going to leave that to the end of the day. I'm going to move on to the work session. So the work session, which was held on Tuesday, December the 5th, we had on the agenda holiday donations for Roger Heights. This will be the second year where we are, or regular, giving Roger Heights $200 in order to provide lunches to students during their time on winter break. So there will be students from the town of Colmar Manor who the school is aware is not likely to get that meal if they don't have that, if they're not in school to get a meal. So we've donated $200 to help them in feeding those folks. Mayor Pro Tem Jackson brought up the big belly trash cans and the statistics that we get from them so that we can start to learn how much trash is being crushed, how much are we saving from using them, and other statistics. So we do know that the trash cans provide statistics, so we asked Mr. Baden to work with Mike Gorham to see how we all can start to see what those numbers look like and share it with our green team. She also mentioned the water bottle fountain, which is something that we agreed that we wanted to purchase. It will offset the cost of us actually using rented fountains, and it's filtered water, and it also counts how much we're saving in using bottles instead of bottled water. And so we're going to budget for that next year because we didn't have the funds in the budget this year, and the time that it will take to offset it is a good year to offset the price. So the next item was the purchase of Bladensburg Road property from the Port Town CDC. We had already agreed to make the purchase for the property. Mr. Baden wanted us to talk about having an appraisal done, which is required by the state bond for us to have the appraisal done, and to talk about transfer of funds for the purchase of the property. The funds, we have to book the funds for the bond bill, which has been approved by the State Public Works for us to receive now, and which wasn't fully approved at the time we did our budget. So we'll be adding that back into the budget, or adding that into the revenue side of the budget. We had reserved our matching amount from on the reserve, which is on the financial statements as a reserve. Now we need to move that into the revenue section as well. We did not have the 4 votes available at the work session in order to make that transfer, because when you're transferring funds, you need a, what do they call it, a what do you call it? A
Supermajority.
Supermajority, and we did not have a supermajority at the time. And so we have that on the agenda for today. But we did approve moving forward with the appraisal for Bladensburg Road. So we also need to move the funds for that appraisal into the budget. The informal, we made an informal action which allowed for Mr. Baden to be able to sign off on the purchase, the contract agreement once it's received. I've already signed off on the contract for purchase. So, so he would be able to go through the closing and so forth. Number 9, a resolution for fair labor standards. Well, we passed a resolution relative to fair labor standards, which is the standard of the state and the federal government. But we also included that a part of our standards here in the Colmar Manor is to pay no less than the minimum, pay no less than the individual living wage of Prince George's County. Number 10, which is the drug and alcohol policy. We went through the policy in quite a bit of detail, requested several changes to the policy, and asked for it to be moved to today, so we did not take a vote on that. Colmar Manor car registration. We did talk about starting this process of what was going to be the process of the car registration for parking passes, and I've asked Mr. Barr to put together and update our parking policies to include the registration part of it, and hopefully we'll have something for the work session in January for us to review on that, and we can move forward on that. And then we talked about the vacant property ordinance, and we also have asked Mr. Barr to review our vacant property ordinance to make it more associated with the type of circumstance that's involved with the vacant house, and make a differential between whether it's an owner vacant house or whether it's a business vacant house, and to make some other changes. And again, we look to looking into that on work session in January. Signs on the trail, there is a, I want to call it a bill out at the state in order to get, no, this one was mine, about putting signs on the trails. I know most people are not aware of it, but Colmar Manor spans all the way across to the district line at Kenilworth Avenue, and the trail, one of the trails to DC actually goes through that, so I've requested putting a sign on the trail over there so people know that they're literally going through Colmar Manor, even though it's on the other side of the river. So we, the town, actually crossed the river, identified a location that you really moved into Colmar Manor again. So we had quite a conversation about that. And then, I can't even read my handwriting. It's Public Works. We're updating our public works system. We are going to be keeping record of all things that happen in public works, including their regular stuff and then their activities. When they are asked to do things, we have a form for everyone to fill out to make a request. We'll be putting that in a spreadsheet and keeping a record on the spreadsheet, so whenever anyone is interested in knowing what is our public works doing, that we'll be able to actually accomplish that. We most recently got the inventory done of all of the things that we own from Public Works in the building, and so this is a goal to make sure that we're accountable to our citizens and them being able to know that we know as mayor and council of what's happening and how the resources are being used. And we'll be moving forward with the same process with code enforcement, and we've already done it with the hall rentals, where records are kept, how the gym is being used, and so we're really looking forward to always being accountable to our residents as to what it is that is going on here and how these resources, which your tax dollars pay for, are being used. So I'm really excited about us moving forward with that public works process. And then we had a conversation about the American Legion. We are of the understanding that they are planning to leave in April, so we've asked, and they're coming, them to come to our January work session to let us know a little bit more about what their actions or interests are, or what their plans are, because we don't want to have a vacant building for any lengthy period of time as well. And so we'll be talking to them, and we'll know a little bit more next week. And then we talked about the tree forms, which Councilmember Jackson just mentioned, because we still need to have seven forms turned in so we can get those trees. And with that, I also want to do a shout out. I think I forgot to last month about the 20 trees that the church New Covenant planted out here. And we're really excited. Every time we get a new tree, we're getting more oxygen. And it helps to cut back on the pollution. So we're real excited about that. Anybody, did I miss anything from the work session? All right, with that said, I'm moving right along. The next item will be the treasurer's report. Mr. Baton wasn't able to make it tonight, so Mr. Barr will go through our treasurer's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor and members of the council, for the treasurer's report ending for the fiscal year ending November 30th, 2017. The report shows revenues for the period of July 17th through date to be $2,635,086.
No,
Did I get that wrong?
wait a minute, something's not right here.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, it's the first column.
Yeah, $826,306.09 out of a proposed total revenue of $2,635,086. For the month of November, The town, wait a minute, this is different than I'm used to.
Yes.
The budgeted amount for July 1st, 2017 through date is $835,100, pardon me, $230,548.91 on general government expenditures. The van operations were $18,886.94. Code enforcement for the period for the fiscal year is $21,090.84, and Public Works is $94,743.27. The expenses for the maintenance of the town hall or community center is $39,417.05, and for public safety, we expended the total sum of $141,582.90 out of a total of $452,990 budgeted. We're very, actually, we're quite under budgeted on that matter. I don't believe I see a fund balance or other matter here. But I would ask the mayor and council to accept the report as presented by Mr. Baden and to note that in the minutes.
Is there a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Yes, I'll make that motion as stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, I just want to point out, point of discussion, as you all know, I always look at where we are as a percentage of budget. At this time of the year, 5 months into the year, we would normally be about 41.6% into our budget. You'll notice that our profit is at 41.4%. So the reason for it is because most of our income comes in for property taxes, and we get property taxes in September and January, and so we would not expect to get the next bulk of our income until the February timeframe. So we won't expect to see that until the end of January. As for expenses, our general budget, general government expenses at 27.6% is significantly lower than the 41.6%. But there's an adjustment that has to be made. There's the reason why, and when I get to that, I will tell you the transfer scenario there. For payroll, a slight difference of about a percentage over, not much. Senior van is right on target. Code enforcement is significantly over.
Significantly under budget. No, over budget.
And I'll have to look into that.
Property cleanup.
Right. Public Works is under about 2 points, 3 points. So is the Community Center Town Hall. Public Works is significantly under, and that's generally because we have more funds in there for anticipation of things that we don't know is going to happen and we have to deal with. So we like to maintain a cushion there. Chief is just slightly over. He'll look into it. I'm sure some special purchase in there somewhere. The community center operations, now that one is significantly over by about 15%, which is about the same amount that we're under general government, and that's because there were some salaries being charged under recreation that was supposed to be getting charged to general budget. So there's a transfer of funds that will take place to clear up where that discrepancy is there, but that's the flip, so it flips over on each side flips. It flips across the other way, so it's not really over. And so that's all my comments on where we stand. So overall, We are in a good shape in our overall budget, and our total expenses on average is less than what we had anticipated spending. Mr. Barr, you said that you, with the reserves showing on the last page. On the last page, it shows that we have the $50,000 reserve, which was for
The
the
Bladensburg-
match for the building bond,
Yes,
and then a $1,000 reserve for the community garden, because that's for the garden club, and then $781,000 for the, our total unreserved budget, which is a significantly good safety net at this point. All right, everybody, well, anything else to discuss?
you need to vote on it.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I'm about to go. I'm in
Okay.
discussion right now. So I'll call for the vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. Thank you very much. Okay, police report. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Good evening, folks. For November of 2017, very glad to report we had a very low crime incidents for November. Just a couple of the incidents that I want to bring to our folks' attention. We did have a fraud report where a gentleman unfortunately was called. It was a phone scam, which they're very popular not only during the holidays, but really throughout the year. And the individual indicated the person had won a prize, and all they needed to do was verify his credit card number. And unfortunately, he gave his credit card number over the phone, and it turned out to be a credit card scam. So in relationship to that, what we're recommending to the community, first of all, never give away personal information over the phone. Never. Never say the word yes. If someone asks if your name is, like me, Bill Lowry, once you say the word yes, they can take that word and they can audio it and they can use it on other scams where they would need your voice recognition. There's a lot of scams where people say they're from the IRS or the Marshal Service or Facebook. The bottom line, if you get a phone call and you do not know that number, my recommendation is not to even answer the phone. However, if you do answer it, never give personal information at all. If you think that you have been a victim of a credit card scam or a phishing expedition over the phone, call us immediately, 301-352-1200. Just so folks know, you're entitled to 3 free credit reports every year. Every citizen in the United States. So all you have to do is go to usa.gov, and it'll show you the link, so you can always check your credit report through Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. With package deliveries, especially since we're in the Christmas and holiday season, we talked about it. Never have your packages delivered to your house unless you know you're going to be there. So what do? Either have them delivered to your work address or to a neighbor that you know is going to be home and to be able to take custody of your packages. Also dealing with scams for your telephone, go to donotcall.gov. Again, it's just one word, donotcall.gov, and you can enter your cell phone and your residential phone, and that'll take a lot of these scam callers. They won't have the ability, it won't permeate all of them, but it'll take a large majority of them out of play. We did have a breaking and entering at the Lucky Mart, 4201 Bladensburg Road. We're working with Prince George's County Police. We believe the individuals involved in that were involved in a series of 14 other burglaries all up and down, not in Cottage City and Colmar Manor, but further north. So without getting into a whole lot of information, we do have a suspect with that with Prince George's County Police. It was a quick burglary. They're breaking the windows out and they're going in and targeting things. In Lucky Mart, they targeted the cigarettes. We were very fortunate. We haven't had any break-ins in our residence, no stolen cars. I believe one of the council members mentioned about a car that was unlocked that had valuables in it. We did have one car that was entered. It was unlocked, and the person left a laptop in it in plain view. But it is the only one that we had this month, and it's the highest crime, most prevalent crime in Prince George's County, but it's the most preventable crime. So really encouraging our folks to keep your doors locked at all times and your cars, hide your valuables, and folks are doing a real good job with that. A couple of things on personnel issues. On November 21st and 22nd, we were able to interview 12 applicants for the open positions that we have here. I was very enthused about the folks that we interviewed. We have 4 more people that have just applied within the last week. So I'm really highly encouraged with that. We're doing our due diligence on these folks and trying to get the best candidates we can. We'll keep the mayor and the council and certainly our citizens updated on that. Sergeant Sims, I was able to get her into the Maryland Police Training Commission. She attended an 8-hour session on domestic violence, which is extremely vital to the safety of our folks here. Just a couple of other things, and the mayor and the council members have mentioned several of them. We were very fortunate to be able to participate in the November 15th Seniors Thanksgiving Luncheon. It's a great opportunity just to come in and to be with our folks and be able to talk with them. The amount of time that they have dedicated here to Colmar Manor. So we really had a great opportunity. We had our Coffee with a Cop on November 28th down at the IHOP, as the mayor and councilmember Blue already talked about. Great opportunity to meet people. We actually didn't wait for them to come to us. We went out into the restaurant and we were able to talk with a lot of folks. We had our Shop with a Cop, as been talked about, on December the 8th. That was probably one of the most memorable things that I've done since I've been here, and been here since January. We were able to take 4 children that were recommended to us from Rogers Heights Elementary, from Colmar Manor, and 4 children from Cottage City. We took them down to IHOP, had a great meal with them, and then we took each one of these children to one of our local retail stores and gave them each $110, and they were able to buy things for themselves and their family. Seeing those children's eyes makes it all worthwhile. It really does, to be able to see that. And I can't tell you the number of accolades that we receive from the folks when they see police officers working with young children. And so it was just a wonderful opportunity. I was very proud to be able to be a part of that. The mayor, 2 last things the mayor talked about. We're getting a Governor's Crime Prevention Award tomorrow for the Knock and Talk program. It was really implemented by Sergeant Sims. She's getting the award tomorrow in Annapolis. And then we're really still encouraging folks, if you have gently used coats, to bring them by. We'll take custody of those, and we'll either give them out on our Christmas Day function here, or if we don't have enough folks here, I think we will, but the police department will take those and we'll give them out to folks that we encounter on the streets. So thank you for the opportunity again to serve. Have a wonderful Christmas and happy Hanukkah. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief. All right. Is there a motion to accept the chief's report?
Yes, I'll make a motion to accept the chief report.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Okay, with none, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
So much. Okay, so moving along, as I'm going through my paperwork here, I do want to remind everybody that we have Zumba on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15 to 8:30. We also have, and on Saturdays from 9:15 to 10:30. So please come on out to Zumba as I'm looking at my list. Ladies, I don't know if you guys saw your list in there for the gym this month. The gym brought in $4,642 this month. So kudos for the promotion of the gym. We have open gym on Mondays and Wednesdays, so please come out. That's from 2 to 8 o'clock. And currently, we have a churches usually on Saturday evenings and volleyball on Friday nights. So looks like that's moving along very well. Thank you so much, and I thank again Renee for her work in actually bringing in people. And I look forward to you guys calling us about the boot camp so that you can get on board for the next session that gets started, as we talked about last month. So if you didn't see the presentation, please go out on YouTube for the town of Colmar Manor, and you'll be able to get an update of what happened. Update of how you can get involved with boot camp. I know you're going to want to get started in January.
And they have a payment plan.
And there is a payment plan, that's right. That's when we all get started again. Okay, so I'm going to move on to unfinished business. I will first start out with resolution, that's this one, right? Resolution 5, 2017, which is the alcohol and drug policy. We have just received this this evening, and we did, as I stated, go over a lot of it in the work session. So we are going to, is there a motion for us to table this for tonight and to have a brief open meeting on Friday to take a vote?
I'll make that motion as stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll call for vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Aye.
Ward 4?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye.
Who was the seconder?
Melinda?
Councilmember Mendoza.
And who was the maker?
Rep. Pro Temp Jackson.
I'm sorry.
Vivian.
Mayor Pro Temp Jackson.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're keeping those records, right?
Right.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Park. Okay, so we'll be voting on this on Friday around 11:30 a.m. We will be taking our staff out on Friday for a holiday party. They're well-deserving. These are hardworking people. I appreciate it very, very much, and so I really look forward to spending some leisure time with them to relax, and so we'll be taking them out to lunch on Friday. Well-deserved. Okay, so the next old business has to do with the transfer. First of all, okay, so we've got 3 motions to do. We've got 3 motions to do relative to the purchase of the land.
Yes.
Okay, so the first motion is to transfer funds for the appraisal that we approved last week, which I believe was $2,300, to transfer the funds from unreserved to a fund for appraisals. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I'm gonna call for a vote. Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Sustain.
Ward 4?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye. Okay, so the second order of business is for us to allocate the bond bill, which was approved by the state of $50,000, to a revenue line item for the purchase of the land on Bladensburg Road. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Ward 1? Any discussion? Okay, Ward 1?
Aye.
Ward 2?
Aye.
Ward 3?
Sustain.
Ward 4?
Aye.
And the mayor votes aye.
Madam Mayor, who made the motion?
Melinda, Councilmember Mendoza.
I thought she made the second.
No, that was Bowden.
Bowden made the second?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, and so the last one is for us to actually move the funds that we have in our reserve account for the purchase onto the same revenue line item for the purchase of the property on Bladensburg Road. Is there a motion to do that?
I'll make that motion stated.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I'll call, any discussion? I'll call for a vote. Ward 1,
Aye.
Ward 2,
Aye.
Ward 3,
Sustain.
Ward 4,
Aye.
and the mayor votes aye. Okay, so, got that done, we can move forward. The appraisal has been ordered, as we agreed last week, and they expect to complete in approximately 4 weeks. And so we're waiting for the signed agreement back from the Port Town CDC to move forward on closing the project. So I'm so excited, you know. And hopefully we'll have it up and running by the spring and have ourselves a nice outdoor bazaar area. Okay, Next order of business, there is
Committee reports. There's no new
no new
business.
business. So we move on to committee reports. Mr. Mutchler isn't here for senior report, but again, I'll mention that we had a wonderful time for the luncheon, and we will be having, for the Thanksgiving luncheon, and we will be having the holiday luncheon tomorrow, so we look forward to that. Is there a garden club report?
Yes, Mayor. Before I give the Garden Club report, I forgot to add this in my report. Right hand, left hand will do this will be the 4th year doing feeding the less needy, the homeless, or if you don't want to be home for Christmas, you can come to the town hall from 12 to 5 and you'll get a warm meal. Also, each council member and mayor, we have 2 gift cards that will be given to residents for $25. Please let us know if you're in need. Contact your council member or the mayor or Kayla, our town staff. Also, if you're in need of baskets, please also let your council member know. Sorry about that. The Garden Club. The Garden Club next meeting will be January the 20th. We did have, last Saturday, we had eggnog in the garden, which was hosted by one of our gardeners, which is our master gardener. That event was very, I can't explain it. I felt like I was the only elected official there, and it was a lot of residents that was invited, and it was really interesting. I felt like I was at a work session, but it was a wonderful afternoon spent. And that's one of the reasons why I did not make the kids' party, because I thought that's where my time needed to be spent. But it was a very diverse crowd. We had one resident that's been in town for 30 years. We had a new one that's been in town for maybe 6 months. So it was really good. So I really enjoyed myself. And thank you for hosting that. I can move on to the green team if you don't mind.
Sure,
ma'am.
go right ahead.
The green team did not meet yesterday, but our next meeting will be January the 8th. We're looking forward to more volunteers to come out, and we're looking for a very exciting 2018. I just want to thank everybody who comes out to volunteer. I know everybody have jobs, they have families, but we, the mayor and council and staff, we just thank all your volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, recreation report.
And like the mayor said, I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank everybody who contributed toys and money for our Christmas party, and our volunteers who came out and helped wrap all those Christmas gifts. I just want to thank you all. Thanks. Thank you, thank you.
All right, thank you so much too. And PGCMA, this still says Jackson. PGCMA Councilmember Mendoza.
Oh,
I'm not a council member.
Mayor, I'll be giving the report because Councilman Mendoza was not.
At the legislative.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
right. I'll give some of it. Actually, you and Councilmember Blue can chime in. It was a very nice event. PGCMA went over the legislature's agenda, priorities for the 27 municipalities in Prince George's County. It was well attended. Chris Van Dozer was there, and it was Chris Van Hollen. Sorry about that. Chris Van Hollen was there.
Senator Van Hollen.
Yes, Senator Van Hollen was there, and I apologize for messing up his name because in his, he was the keynote speaker. In his keynote speaking, he really recognized Colmar Manor, and we were very proud of that. But it was a very good event. Commissioner Butler talked about lights on the trail. Also, we had the mayor from Greenbelt talk about our state highway user fund, which we're all hoping to get that back and get more back. And if you all can remember anything, you can add on there. Thank you.
Talked a little bit also, the delegates, they'll be going into the closed session, and they had talked about any priorities or things that we would like to address. This is the time to go to Annapolis.
Open session. I mean,
Open.
they're starting
Right.
their session. You said closed.
Oh, I'm sorry, open. And also, Mayor.
Yeah. I thought it was a well-attended event. It was a well orchestrated event. I've been every year for, I think, 17. And I was actually surprised the event went till 10 o'clock and people stayed. I mean, a lot of times people just disappear, but it was engaging. Senator Ramirez spoke as well. Senator Benson was there. A lot of the conversations about us becoming more involved in the bills that are going in Annapolis. And so I'm thankful that Delegate Fennell and particularly Delegate Tarlow as well, and Senator Ramirez send us emails on information about bills. So again, I come back to me having more contact information for you guys, because when we get these things, we can pass them to you if it's something that impacts our community. And so this is why it's so critically important that we can communicate with you in the best ways possible. I was surprised, I will say, when Commissioner Butler stated that there are lights on the trails once you get to Lake Artemisia. And I personally took it as an affront when I heard it, because I didn't realize, you know, it's only from Lake Artemisia down to here where we're at always have been the head of the trail before we go into DC. Why didn't we deserve to have lights? And so that's something where if you know these facts, we can rally around them, because that really felt a little bit left out to me. It was like
Safety for the citizens in our.
a deliberate, I mean, because you know, you get to Lake Artemisia, now you're in Greenbelt. And so is there something different about Greenbelt than there is coming down here?
Mayor, I just think we're not making enough noise.
Well, I didn't know it. I didn't know it was.
I mean, I'm just saying, I know Carter City is, I know we're starting to doing it now. But I'm
Yes.
saying, in the past,
Before that happened.
we let it,
We didn't make
we
enough
didn't
noise
realize
about
that
having no lights.
having no lights,
But
but right now, I know people are involved now. I do know that.
Yes, well, because I had no idea that they had lights up there. I thought the whole trail system had no lights, just like ours, but.
Yeah,
So,
that
well,
was-
now that I do know, so that was one of the biggest things I learned at that event the other night, and that's the value of going
And
out
a way
there.
of identifying where you're at. That's why it was important, like you said.
Oh, that's right,
The
in terms of putting
identification.
signs on the
Right.
trails as to where we are, so you know where you are when you're passing through. So, thank you for that report. We're so sorry we didn't have Councilmember Mendoza there at the time, but.
Food was good.
The food was good, yes. Yes, and you were missed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I look to see if there's any citizens' comments, and I don't think that there is. I remind anybody who might be watching this on TV that please let your neighbors know that if they are not able to attend the meeting and they are not able to catch it on TV, they can always go to YouTube, townofcolmarmanor.com, and be able to catch up on what's going on in the community. And so I also wanted to mention, what I forgot to was that I think that we gave out over 60, we call them baskets, but bags of food for the Thanksgiving holiday. And again, that was an awesome, I mean, it was just awesome. I mean, it wasn't just, was like 50 from Shabbat, and then a council member came in and gave us several turkeys, and Delegate Fennell, and so we're so happy that we were able to share with people, and we also gave out $25 Sharpest Food Warehouse cards then as well. So if you need some help, I find this town to be a really heartwarming town, from the neighbors to the people that come to the town, and if you need help for any kind of thing, I want you to let us know. I'm looking for a couple of residents, I'd like to have 2, maybe 3, who would like to participate on a committee, a hardship committee. I would like to do some spaghetti fundraisers to build a fund for hardship scenarios. I need a committee so we build criteria as to how do we decide who it is that we are going to give funds to in a hardship time. But I would like to start to create that fund so that it's something there that we have here, that someone who can't pay their water bill, we can help to pay that water bill, and also keeping a record of all of the places that help with utilities. Because I understand, you know, and we want to create an environment where people are not embarrassed to ask for help. And so if you are interested in being on the hardship committee, please let me know, at least by the next town meeting, and then we can start working on putting together these fundraisers. I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, anything that you celebrate, and even if it's just spending some time with your friends and your family, I want you to enjoy the holidays, and I look forward to, and Happy New Year. So I'm looking forward to a huge new year for the town of Colmar Manor. Is there anything else anybody has for the body? Okay, with that said, with no information, I will ask, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion to adjourn this meeting.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. This meeting is now adjourned. It's 8:10.